Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the meet and greet. We are happy to have you here, the Maryland Black Mayors and our guests, our visitors. We're all excited to have you here. I know you've been all around Prince George's County, talking to so many people. Hello, Madam State's Attorney.
Hello, it's such a pleasure. Thank you all so much for having us.
Yeah, you all are doing an amazing job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And again, don't forget to put your name in the chat so we can ensure you're here. I think so far we have, hello, Senator Washington. Can you put your name in that chat for us, sir? And I know everyone is so used to timekeepers and all of that, introducing yourselves. And we're going to stick with that same concept. We have a timekeeper, which is myself. And I know you're used to that 2-minute time limit, and we're going to stick with that. Getting my timer set. So it looks like we have great. So let me begin by welcoming everyone. Just welcome to the Maryland Black Mayors Meet and Greet Candidate Forum, where we have the opportunity to meet those who are running for the prestigious position of our county executive, the very important position of our county executive. The Maryland Black Mayors represents the mayors in in the state of Maryland. We have 259 municipalities in the state of Maryland, and we are the Black mayors within those 257 municipalities in that state. We do have a board in the Maryland Black Mayors, in which my name is Tracy Gant, and I am the president of the Maryland Black Mayors. We have a vice president, and I am the mayor in the town of Edmonston. And then we also have Mayor Miller, who is the vice president. And she is the mayor in District Heights. And then we have our treasurer, who is a past president, former Mayor Calvin Washington. And then we also have our wonderful secretary, Mayor Casanias, and she is the mayor in the town of Colmar Manor. And then we also have our board members, Mayor Katrina Dudrow, and she is the mayor in New Carrollton. We have Mayor Emmett Jordan, who could not make it here tonight because he is taking care of his health. And we have a health campaign going on with Maryland Black Mayors, where we are trying to ensure that we all know our numbers. We're taking care of our hearts, getting all the tests done, our colonoscopies, everything done this year to ensure we know what our numbers are, what we look like. Our x-rays done, everything, women, everything done. So look for that campaign and go ahead and get your numbers done. Take some pictures and send it to us, and we will post it because we are all leaders. We have to lead that charge. Okay, so let me finish introducing the board. And we also have Mayor Stewart, and she is the mayor in Fairmount Heights. And we have, I said Mayor Jordan Greenbelt, Mayor Stewart, Fairmount Heights, and then we have Mayor Robinson, who is from North Brentwood. And I think that I have named all of our board members. Oh, no, I did not mention Mayor Todd Knox from Pocomoke. And that is all of our board members. We have Mayor Ben Can and Mayor Sid Noor, who is on our nominations and elections committee. So thank you all for being here. Today, we are here to meet again and greet our candidates for the county executive office and the early elections, mail-in ballots. It's open now. So we want to provide our constituents the opportunity to meet those who are running for office and find out why, of course, and what you could bring to our county. This position is very important. So what we're going to do today is give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves first off, and we'll provide 2 minutes each. And please, I ask that I'll give you the time, and please just stick to the 2 minutes. We have so many candidates. We want to hear from you all. And so sum it up. You have been to so many forums, so I know you know how to sum it up. You've been able to critique yourself. Your team has critiqued you and told you what to leave out and what to put in. So do that today so we can get the best of you. And then also, we're going to ask you some questions. We're not going to try to trick you or anything else. We want to talk to you today. So give us your best, give us your honesty so that our constituents and we can make the best decision. You know, the constituents come to us, the mayors and the other leaders that are on this phone call. They come to us and they ask us questions about you. So we want to be able to give them an informed answer. Okay, so thank you so much. And we're going to start. We have Mayor Casanias, can you tell us who we have in the chat, and I can mark it off today.
Yes, Mayor. We have in the chat Moisette Tanya Sweat, Albert Slocum, Jonathan White, Ron Hunt, Alonzo Washington, Tiffany Cusack White, I'm not sure who that is, and State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy.
Adam Braveboy, Tanya Sweat, Albert Slocum, Alonzo Washington, Jonathan White, and Ron Hunt. Correct? All righty. And we will start with the introductions from our state's attorney. I'll give you 2 minutes to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. This is Aisha Braveboy. It's a pleasure to be with all of you. I think I know everybody, and I humbly say that because not only do we serve together, but we meet with one another. And each year I host an event for our municipalities where we update you on the work of our office and also discuss ways to partner more closely together to address the issues impacting our communities. And so I look forward to continuing that work as your next county executive. I know that our municipalities are a huge part of our county. About 30+% of our population lives within municipalities. And actually, our municipalities present a really great opportunity for growth and economic development. So, as we move forward, we need to work in tandem to bring the type of retail and housing opportunities that we want to our communities. We need to ensure that we're making the appropriate investments in infrastructure. And we need to ensure that we're working even more collaboratively, to address issues like crime, education, and healthcare. So I grew up here in Prince George's County, went to public schools, graduated from Largo High School, went on to the University of Maryland, and then Howard University for law school. I have worked in every branch of government, starting with the executive branch. I worked as the council liaison as well as the director of real estate. I've worked
15
in the
seconds.
legislative branch as a state delegate, and of course now as in the judicial branch as state's attorney. I also have private sector experience as a small business owner and an executive with Children's Hospital. So thank you.
Thank you. Oh, right on the button.
Yay.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. And you did it exactly right. Introducing yourself and also why you are running for county executive. Thank you. Okay, and next up, we will have Miss Tanya Sweat.
Good morning. Yes, I am Tanya Swift, and I thank you all for having me today. I am a 30-plus year attorney with complex civil and criminal litigation experience. I served as a judge advocate in the United States Air Force. I've also served in the federal government as a banking and finance regulator under the Obama administration, where I served on the team that helped to write the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act of 2010. I live here in Prince George's County, and like many of you, I'm concerned about what's happening in our county. I'm a homeowner, and I don't like the tax burden on homeowners. I'm a proud PGCPS parent. My son graduated in 2020. I have a daughter who's in seventh grade now at Accokeek Academy, and I'm not happy about the fact that our education system remains number 24 in the state. We have to do something to improve our education for our children. When we improve education, we'll also improve their opportunities and their chances at getting gainful employment and contributing as tax-paying citizens in our county. Public safety is, yes, an issue. We have to address the shortage of workers in both the police department and in our fire service. And we have volunteers in the county who want to augment our career firefighters. We have to work better with them so that we make sure we protect life and property here in the county. We also need to diversify our revenue. I'm going to fight to keep the commanders in Prince George's County because they will spark our tourism and increase our tourism dollars so that we can lighten the load on our homeowners and give each and every resident of Prince George's County some tax relief. I am so glad to be talking with you all this morning because, yes, I recognize municipalities make up a large portion of Prince George's County. You have a lot of residents. And the one thing
Thank
I've
you.
noticed in our government is we don't work well with them. We need to improve that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. As we move on, thank you so much for that. You guys are pros here. We're going to move on to Mr. Albert Slocum.
Thank you all. Thank you all for having me. Well, I'm Albert Slocum. I'm running for county executive, originally out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. At the age of 13, I started off as a community activist, inspired by my mother to do things for our people and make sure that we're on the up and up and doing the right things and empowering one another so that we can be that voice. My platform is very clear. There's no bluffs or hoopla. I stand on values and will not compromise what is right. I'm not a politician with connections to establishments and cliques. I'm a father, advocate, community leader, transformational leader, and business owner. And I stand here before you in these trenches with my fellow Prince Georges so that we can thrive in 2025. Many have come out of the closet, so I'm not afraid to say and share this, that I am a man of God. Through the grace, I'm qualified. I have the education, experience, expertise, and exposure to get things done and up and running day one. I believe that I'm the only candidate with relevant, extensive background in human resource development, business development, finance, banking, and even knowing how to budget what we have as a $171 million deficit. I've run companies and I've supported other nonprofits and not-for-profits. I've managed about a third of $1 billion in retirement assets. So that tells you right then and there that I'm very familiar with when it comes to money and how to reallocate our expenses and prioritize where they need to be. My platform is geared towards economic development, which encompasses the acronyms BEACHES: business development, educational strength, agricultural security, community engagement, health equity, environment, environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and sustainable green and common sense development, which we all need. My
Five
plans are,
seconds.
yeah, my plans are to improve the quality of life for all here in Prince George's County. I'm a fresh face, fresh start, fresh results. And as your next
Thank
county
you.
executive, I'll be here for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very good. Appreciate that, Mr. Slocum. That was Albert Slocum. Next up, we have Senator Washington.
Hey everybody, good morning. Good to see everybody. So many familiar faces, all my good friends that are on here. If you hear something in the background, as you all know, school is out today. So that's my little one here with me. My wife is off to work. But look, hey everybody, my name is Alonzo Washington, State Senator, candidate for County Executive here in Prince George's County. And I'm excited to be running for this office because we have a once in a lifetime opportunity to really change the trajectory of Prince George's County. We've been going in the wrong direction for such a long time in our county. I know you and many of your residents really agree with that. And for me, we can't keep doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result, and electing the same names over and over again and expecting a different result. As you all know, I've taken over in the Senate as a leader of my delegation. I represent 7 municipalities. For a long time, we've had the same old meetings with everybody individually. But because of my leadership, I brought everyone together, all 7 municipalities together, to make sure that we're working on one accord to bring money back to our municipalities here in our county. Because of my leadership, we were able to bring over $6.5 million directly to our county for our municipalities, directly to Edmiston and Greenbelt and Hyattsville and Riverdale Park, and everyone received dollars because of the work that we've done in Annapolis. And that's the type of leadership I plan to bring as your county executive, on bringing people together. We already know that our school board has been divided for such a long time. We know that our county council can't even decide on who's going to be their next chair. And so for me, it is my duty as your next county executive to bring people together, to galvanize change and opportunities, and make sure that we can all work together to ensure that we're working on one accord. Under my leadership, I plan to make sure that DPI actually works for you all, that the permitting system works. I want to make sure 311 works. Also going to expand pre-K and childhood education here in the county as well. There's a lot of things that we have to do as a county, and I look forward to sharing those with you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. So up next, that was Alonzo Washington. Up next, we have Jonathan White. And before you begin, Mr. White, if any other candidate has signed on, I just ask that you sign in the chat. Just put your name in the chat so we know you're here. I know we had a couple of candidates that emailed in, so I don't know if they actually came in. So sign in on the chat so we can make sure we have you. All righty, Mr. White.
Before we get started, I have 11:30. I have to leave at 11:30. I have a doctor's appointment. Before I took the appointment, before I signed
Okay.
on, I had to leave.
All right.
But I'm Jonathan
Send
White.
us your picture, okay? Send us
Sure
your
will.
picture.
In the
Picture
appointment.
with your numbers.
All right. Hey, how you doing? I'm Jonathan White, candidate for county executive. For the past 20 years as a veteran, I served my country, and now I want to serve the residents of Prince George's County for the next 18 months. My main goal is to improve on public safety, because I believe public safety is the foundation of any successful community. If we lower crime, businesses will set up shop here and families will move here. And if we're successful, everything else will fall in place. The reason why I'm running is because I want change. And sometimes if you want change, you have to get up off the couch, quit complaining, and do it yourself. That's the reason for my candidacy. And my goal is to put people first. And that's how it should be, and that's how it should be done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Righty. Mayor Casanias, did anybody else sign in?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Who's that?
I'm having a
Is
problem with my, Ron Hunt, I'm having a problem with my camera.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Mr. Hunt.
Yes, ma'am.
You are up. Here we go.
Okay. My name is Ron Hunt. I'm from New York. I got here in 1980 on August 29th. From that point, I've owned all the largest nightclubs here, North Carolina, Greensboro, and New York. I've been very successful at what I do. I now own an internet business. From 2010 until present day, I make apps, and that's what I haven't talked about in the forums because I didn't think it was necessary. I own property in out of the country in St. Martin and Anguilla. I have a ferry boat business in St. Martin, and I have an office in India. Um, I know how to do business. I've been doing business for more than 40 years. I'm the most qualified person out of everybody that is running. The fact of the matter is, my goal here, and there's a couple of reasons I ran, and I'm self-funded. There's a couple of reasons I ran because I heard what was happening with the seniors, the teachers, and the police department. Teachers are being assaulted in our schools. Teachers are getting a bad rap. They're not getting the money that they're worth, and they're heroes. Our seniors, they need affordable housing, and we have it right here already. We don't have to build anything and spend any more money. We need to give them good health care and free medication. Last but not least, our police department. Everybody keeps talking about we're going to do this, we're going to do that. The police are janitors because they sit in the parking lots, and when something happens, they then come and clean up the mess, and that's all they do. So now we need community policing. What I want to do is bring all municipalities together, have one police force like we did in New York with transit and housing and the New York Police Department itself, and create a force that will take care of the community while we're adding on to our force. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hunt. All right, I think we have everyone. I don't see
Mayor
any other
Gant,
names.
we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
Marcellus Cruz, and I believe we might have Calvin Hawkins on the line as well.
All right. If we have Mr. Cruz. Oh, I see you. Yes. Mr. Cruz, we are introducing ourselves and also explaining why we are running for county exec. And you are up. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right.
Yes, sir.
And you all can see me?
I cannot.
I told it to use my camera. I'll just go ahead and I guess we'll figure that out. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. My name is Marcellus Cruz, and I'm a candidate because it is time for change. Everyone in this county understands that we're headed in the wrong direction. Everyone. And we keep choosing elected officials who have been in office. Nothing wrong with them. Is the point here is we're talking about change. And so I am a candidate because I want to bring true change. Now, what will I like to do? I think if we truly want to be serious about bringing down poverty, crime, and welfare, I mean, coming back, number one, we have to bring workforce development to our education system in a way that we have not, along with to our adults and returning citizens. And so I'm prescribing, starting in our education system, a second pathway to becoming an entrepreneur. I'm also prescribing that sixth graders, starting at sixth grade, we start apprenticeships and certifications. We make STEM standard, financial literacy standard in our education system. Why am I focusing on our education system? Because that's what brings people to our county. And that's what makes people leave when we're on the wrong direction. I also would like to bring our small businesses to education K through 12 like we do for sports. Most businesses want to grow, and they now want and love the idea that they can look for talent, mold the talent that's in our K through 12. They also like the idea of us doing a major education system with certification education where we kind of re-skill a lot of adults.
Thank you so much, Mr. White. I'm sorry, your 2 minutes are up.
My
Thank
2
you.
minutes are up. I barely
Yes.
What?
You'll have an opportunity. Thank you so much.
That was Mr.
You got a
Cruz.
lot in. You
That
got a
was
lot
Mr.
in.
Cruz.
I'm sorry. That was. I said the wrong name?
Yes, ma'am. That was Mr. Cruz.
That was Mr. Oh, Marcellus Cruz, right? Okay. I said, thank you. All right. And so do we have County Councilman Hawkins here?
I don't currently see him on, Mayor. Once he joins, I'll let you know.
Okay, so we'll move forward then. All right, thank you all. Thank you for your introductions. Thank you all. All right, so as we move forward, our moderators today will be Mayor Miller, who will start off. We have Mayor Casanias, who will go next, and then we have Mayor Ben Can from Morningside. Mayor Miller will ask the first question to all of the candidates. And then Mayor Miller will ask the next question to all of the candidates, followed by Mayor Ben Can. All candidates will have 2 minutes again to answer the question. And again, I ask that you adhere to the 2-minute time limit, okay? Thank you so much, and you all did very well with that. So thank you. Mayor Miller,
Thank
I
you,
yield the floor to you.
Mayor Gant. Welcome everyone to this candidate forum. And it is very important that we come together and for you all to know what our municipalities issues are. So this first question is around economic development and business growth. And the question is, how will you support Black-owned and minority businesses and ensure equitable economic opportunities for Prince George's County? And we have the first round, and the first candidate would be Aisha Brayboy.
Thank you for that question. I can tell you that I have been talking about the fact that it is good business to do business with the people of Prince George's County, because when we grow our local businesses, so many of them are small, minority, and Black-owned and brown-owned businesses. When we grow them, we grow our economy from within. We create a more vibrant business sector. We are taking in more business taxes, more employment taxes, and more income tax. Those individuals who are doing better financially then buy bigger homes, spend more money in our county, and also grow others smaller businesses that will assist them with the goods and services that they need. So it is just a real ecosystem of growth when we purchase from our businesses here in Prince George's County. So I have a strong commitment to doing so. We need to refocus our managers who manage our procurement process to ensure that they are putting Prince George's County businesses first. Those opportunities should be forecasted. The residents here and our resident businesses should have the opportunity to compete and actually have an advantage when competing, because again, we reap and we will see that benefit tenfold if we are doing business locally.
Thank you for that, Ms.
Thank you.
Brayboy. So we're still going with the number of 2 minutes for all of our questions and answers. So the next candidate is Marcellus Cruz.
All right, thank you for the question.
Can you take your volume up a little bit?
Okay, give me a moment here. Hopefully my time has not started.
No, we're gonna start you now.
Am I louder now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me close that. Okay, now my time starts. Okay, here we go. I plan to bring more support by, first of all, bringing a lot of our small businesses, the ones who need workers, to our K through 12, along with a lot of our nonprofit entities where adults are looking to change career courses. That's number one. And a lot of those programs that we're currently doing will help recertify a lot of adults into a lot of the workforce that we're currently missing. We had over 150,000 jobs not filled last year. And I believe that it is time to direct resources to actually helping that get done. The second thing is I believe that we have to build differently. The way we're building, when I see an urban community being built, to me, it's incorrect. We need to put condos on top and stores on the bottom, where vendors can come in, where our small businesses can come in and have a place at the table close to its clientele, where that clientele can just walk down in their flip-flops and go to the coffee shop or to the flower store. It is just time for us to build differently, and I believe that that is the second piece. Third piece is it's just time to have someone in the office who understands how to create jobs and how to focus us all. We have all the ingredients right here in the county. I'll just take, for instance, cybersecurity. It's $1 billion industry. With quantum computing, it's $1 billion industry. It's time to help our small businesses and nonprofits and our education centers pipeline workers into those programs. And this is, to me, the fight that we have moving forward. This is how you bring.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sweat. The next candidate is
Well, it's Mr.
Sweat.
Cruz.
Mr. Cruz. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Mr. Cruz. We got a lot of names around here, so forgive us. And it's still morning. Tanya Sweat, do I need to repeat the question?
No, ma'am, you don't. I have the question. Economic development and business growth is important. We have to have that because we need to diversify our revenue in the county, which would involve bringing in more commercial revenue. To do that, what I would love to do, and I am going to do, is fight to keep the commanders here. Keeping the commanders here then brings in another level of revenue to the county that will allow us to invest more in our Economic Development Corporation and into FSC First so that they can support our small businesses, because there is no guarantee that Small Business Administration is going to be around to guarantee those loans anymore. So we have to have a pot of money to guarantee loans to help small businesses organize, open up, and continue to open, because one of the biggest challenges, especially for minority businesses, is capital. It's hard for us to get capital in the banking and financial markets. So we need to put a pot of money in place to make sure our businesses have access to that capital. The other thing I have to do, and I will do, to help with growing small businesses is we have the largest group of disconnected youth ages 16 to 25 in the state of Maine. We also have a big vacuum or vacancy in our trades. We need HVAC technicians, electricians, plumbers. We need construction workers. In those trades, once people generally learn how to run the business, how to do the work, then they become entrepreneurs themselves. And so I want to make sure we have a workforce development program that invests in our youth and give them the tools they need to become the experts in the trades. And then they too will develop businesses in our county, and that will sustain our economic and development growth for a long time to come.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Next one is, candidate is Albert Slocum. You're on mute.
Good morning. Straight out of Howard University with a BBA in Finance, HRD, Master of Arts at Bowie State University, and Real Estate Development at NYU. I've been in the county for about just over 25 years, been in business, corporate America for over 30 years. What does that mean? It means that I understand business. I'm a business owner. I've owned an insurance brokerage company. I've been in the real estate arena as an advisor as well as a consultant in real estate development. We need to be creative. Okay, to support our tax base from a commercial standpoint, we got to find the money. The way to do that is we have private placement. Okay, we can invest in our businesses, our local small businesses. Number one, private placement. Then there's private equity. Private equity, funds that we find for our local businesses to give them a hands up as opposed to of hands out. And then, with respect to just giving them a 5-year time frame as county executive, I will fight from a tax standpoint to make sure that they thrive and have sustainability by giving them some tax breaks so that they can get their business up and running. Now, from a per capita income standpoint, that's where we build economic development. We need to have first right of refusal. First right of refusal, meaning giving to our small businesses, our local businesses, our Black businesses primarily, our minority businesses, the first right of refusal contracts. Then we hire within our county so that the residents, our fellow Prince George's, can be hired and they can earn a good wage or salary and then recycle that money so it doesn't leave our communities, and our small local businesses can benefit from that. Lastly, we got to think of things from a tax standpoint, tax-based standpoint. We got to bring in larger corporations because they have a part in the matter as well. And they're going to help the economy grow and then spur our economic growth. So as your next county executive, those are things that I would focus on as a priority. I do believe that it takes all of us to come to the table, though, and come up with more innovative ways to do things.
Thank
Have a
you.
background in vocational technical from a high school, vocational
Thank you
technical.
so much, Mr. Slocum. All righty.
All right. Next candidate, Alonzo Washington.
Hello, good morning again, and thank you for the great question. I have a few responses to this question. I think one is we need to educate small Black-owned businesses on the procurement process and what it looks like. We need to do more education around that, and open the process as well and strengthen the procurement process so it works. Actually, we have a really great procurement director in the state of Maryland, which I plan to steal from the state of Maryland to hire here in Prince George's County. Secondly, we know that Black-owned businesses have to go through our DPI for permitting. We know that DPI and permitting system has been very lengthy process. I'm gonna work strong. I'm gonna work in a manner where we can bring everyone together at DPI to streamline the permitting process. That's really important. We see businesses leave the county that want to start here and go to Montgomery County because it's 8 months shorter time frame to work. Secondly, our county needs to focus on workforce development. We do that with our work with Employee Prince George's right now. And currently in Prince George's County, we have over 6,000 tech IT jobs available right now. But our students coming out of college are not ready for those jobs, and those coming out of high school are not ready for those jobs. That we need to double down on the blueprint for Maryland's future, so we have more career coaches in our schools and more technical vocational training in our schools as well. So they come out of school ready to take on these 6,000 jobs that are available right now, right here. Additionally, I will work with CDFIs and banks to make sure that our Black-owned businesses here in Prince George's County, the 69,000 businesses that we have here in the county already, have access to capital as well. Thank you very much for the question.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Washington. Next candidate is Ron Hunt.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't have video. We already have a lot of great businesses in Prince George's County, and more businesses will come if we invite them a certain way. I made a statement in one of the forums where I said we have Amazon, who has 6 distribution centers in Prince George's County at this point. We need to use that to our advantage. You have different mom and pop shops, whether they're Black, Spanish, or whatever they are, that only sell a certain amount of items per month. We'll make a deal with Amazon to sell all of their products everywhere in the world. So if the little business was making $100 a month, for an example, they will make $2,000 a month. How do we do that? By making a deal with Amazon stating instead of the regular amount they charge to sell products on their platform, we go half because you are attending Prince George's County property. So if you are in Prince George's County, we want our small businesses to have an opportunity to branch out and become very, very large. Nobody's doing that except for a small few people. Now, if they know they have 1,000 businesses coming into that program, and what will then happen is everything is cut in half as far as what they make. Everyone in Prince George's County, they reap the benefits because now they have to get more employees because of the business they're doing. And that's one of the main things bringing it up to the future. We can talk about all this other stuff that is okay, but it doesn't work. This works because they're already here, and we need to make sure when everybody else hears that that's happening, they come. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Do we have any other candidates to join while we were going through the questions, Mayor Casanes?
I think Councilman Hawkins might be here. We see Jared Matthews is here. Is that Calvin Hawkins? Okay. If not, we will move on.
Yeah, we will move on to the next question.
So next we'll have Mayor Casanes. Thank you so much, Mayor Miller.
Sure.
Good morning, everyone. My question is centered on education and youth development. How will you address disparities in Prince George's County Public Schools and improve outcomes for our students? I'll go ahead and start with, well, we started with State's Attorney Brave Boy. I'll go ahead and start with her again.
Sure.
Oh, well, as a,
Sorry, Madam State's Attorney. Mayor Casanes, no, you will start with round two, the list from round two.
Okay, Mayor.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, my apologies. Yep. No, you can't start with her. You can jump to Marcellus.
Okay. Mr. Cruz, the question
Yeah,
again.
because Mr. Baker isn't here.
Okay, the question again is, how will you address disparities in Prince George's County Public Schools and improve outcomes for our students?
I spoke about it a little earlier. I believe that it is time that we bring standards to all of our schools. Let's start with STEM being a standard, along with financial literacy. And I would like, starting again at 6th grade, to bring apprenticeships and certifications for all kids. I believe that there should be a second pathway in our education system. Right now, college career readiness standard is teaching us towards one thing. And a lot of times our kids don't even get to certifications until they're in high school. And I think that's the problem. That's the tragedy. Our kids are growing up pretty smart. They're coding by grade 5. It is time across the board in all of our schools, no matter what the makeup and the look like, what they look like, it is time to allow them to start getting apprenticeships and certifications. I've seen that change school systems. Build.org I've been working with. 96% graduation rate. 96%, anybody can look this up. And I think it's time for our education system to allow that second pathway where kids can become entrepreneurs. They can get certifications and do apprenticeships. By the time they get into high school, they'll have a few certifications. And when I talk about certifications, I'm not just talking about our standard trade. There are certifications in every career. And we have deficits in every career in our county, from nursing all the way over to HVAC, yes, and cybersecurity. We can't even hire enough. And so my point here is that it is time that we open up and allow for our kids to get certifications and apprenticeships. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So up next to answer the question is Ms. Sweat. I've posted the question in the chat.
Yes. And thank you for the question because it is a very important question. First and foremost, I want to say I'm very saddened by the fact that the governor has decided to pause the implementation of the blueprint for Maryland's future. As a PTA mom and a former member of the Maryland PTA State Board, during the time the blueprint was litigated, if you will, and enacted, I advocated for the blueprint. Because first, we need more educators in our class, and we need bilingual educators in our classrooms in Prince George's County. Because we have had over the years an increased number of immigrant students who speak Spanish as their primary language. We need to be able to adequately address and teach them. Secondly, we have to invest more into our classroom. We have to make sure we're educating our children from age 3 through high school. The blueprint put that in place. And so if we stop implementing the blueprint, we lose that. Prince George's County has home rule. So if I am elected county executive, I'm going to use that authority under home rule to continue implementing the blueprint, even though the governor says we don't to. And I realize that that's going to put a burden on my shoulders because I got to make sure we got the money to make that happen. So I'm going to work to make sure we diversify our revenue and bring in that commercial stream of money to ensure we can continue to educate our children. I'm also talking to a lot of federal workers, especially those from USAID. Many of them are bilingual. And I'm inviting them to come home and teach in our classrooms because we do have a shortage of teachers. We need bus drivers. Bring them into the education system because we already have that void that they can fill. While the federal government figures out what it's going to do with its employees, I think we need to use the experience, the knowledge, and the training of our federal workforce that lives here in the county to help us bridge the gap.
Thank you so much. Next is Mr. Slocum.
Thank you for that question. Albert Slocum, County Executive. First of all, the disparities deal with academic performance, lack of resources, and, there are truancy issues. From north to south, our county, it's overcrowded or underutilized, right? There are 206 schools on around that amount where the schools are poorly managed from a facility standpoint. Now, do we need to follow certain blueprints within the blueprint and spend more money? But as your next county executive, I'm going to prioritize those resources, those funds in a smart way to make sure that the kids have resources so they can learn, they're able to eat healthy meals so they can focus in school and get the better grades, and then have educational centers, even after school programs that work to help them from a tutoring standpoint so we can get their grades up. Because here, let's face it, right? The reality is our children they're graduating and they're not performing at the state level. They're not going to perform at the national level to be competitive from a grade standpoint, let alone be able to get into a good college. So we need programs to help them, whether it's tutoring. All right, I came from a vocational technical high school with a trade, and I believe also that we need to build that as a developer. My vision is to create that kind of facility so that those who don't go to college, they can take up a trade like plumbing, electrical, carpentry, masonry, things of that nature, even AI and technology, and then pour into our communities from an economic standpoint. So as your next county executive, we have a lot to work with, and we also have the talent to utilize. But we got to do this now, and now is the time. It's our time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Up next is State Senator Washington.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. Told you I have a little one here that I'm trying to keep at bay right now that keeps running around and hopping on daddy. So a few things I would do, speaking of which, is ensure that we expand early childhood education. Unfortunately, the governor has proposed in his budget to hold off on those early childhood education grants and vouchers for families that are in need. We had an overwhelming amount of people actually use those here in the state. And that means kids are getting high quality care in our state at a high level here in Prince here in Prince George's County, and we need to make sure that the governor does not hold off on that. Two, what I would do significantly is have a new superintendent here in Prince George's County. We need someone that is honestly reform minded and academically inclined to make sure that we're focused on those educational gaps that we have here in Prince George's County that exist. I don't know about you, but I have not seen a plan to address those issues yet. As county executive, we do not have the ability to tell the school system what to do. What we do have the ability to do is hire the next superintendent. And as me myself, I will hire someone that's reform minded, that's going to take the best practices from some of our area high schools like College Park Academy, who has been just an amazing school, #1 high school in the county right now because of and they've only existed for 7 years now. And so if we took what they are doing, exactly what they're doing there, and replicate that into our other high schools, can you imagine where we will be and the disparities that exist? There are no disparities that exist right now between Black, white students or Latino students in College Park Academy because they have found a way to make sure that they're leveling the playing field for all those students. And that's what I would do as your county executive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we had Mr. White, but Mr. White has left. We have Councilmember Hawkins. I'm not sure if he's on. Jared, I saw that you had joined. Okay. If not, up next is Mr. Hunt, followed by State's Attorney Brave Boy. So Mr. Hunt, you're up next.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
There's
sir.
There's a bunch of things that have to be done, so I'm gonna try to get it done within this 2-minute period. First of all, we have a lot of assaults on our teachers. In Anne Arundel County this past week, a 360-pound girl hit a teacher in her face, broke her glasses, and nothing happened to the student. That stops it. I am in charge. Next thing that we have to do, we have to have pre-care from kindergarten through 8th grade, served with breakfast, and aftercare till at least 6 p.m. The reason we do that is we're saving our parents a ton of money on daycare, and we can educate the students. Now that everybody's talking about this blueprint, that's the worst thing that's ever happened. And believe me when I tell you, I develop property. I've made a ton of money building buildings. And I'm going to tell you right now, we have 4,500 buildings and vacant lots in Georges County, and we will spend a fraction of the money refurbishing it and making them brand new so we can have what we want instead of spending $1.6 billion on this nonsense, and then 4 years from now, it's $4.1 billion. We can get the same thing done without this nonsensical blueprint. On top of everything else, something that we have to make sure that the police department and the educators are on the same page. If we do that, things will be much better in school. Our teachers are getting a bad deal. You have to straighten out our budget, which is going to be a very easy thing to do because I'm chopping off heads when I get in there. I'm not playing. See, all of them can tell you what we need to do. I'm going to tell you what I am going to do. I already have a team that is ready to come in. And I have a superintendent who has 36 years. She has a doctor of education degree. Talking about being proactive, all of mine is already done. And if I get lucky enough to get to see, because I am the most experienced, I'm taking 4 people from our candidates, and they're going to work with me also. Here you go. I'm done.
Yeah, thank you. Madam Braithwaite.
So I grew up in the school system here, and I know that there are so many programs that we used to have that we don't have anymore, like a really active and robust Boys and Girls Club within our schools to keep our kids not only safe, but also give them opportunities for mentorship, to get their homework done, as well as play some sports or have some activities. Boys and Girls Club is not just about sports, it's really about character development. And we need to do a much better job of assisting parents and our schools with ensuring that we are raising law-abiding citizens who care about their neighbors and who are good residents here in Prince George's County. So Boys and Girls Clubs, funding them, making sure they're a part of our schools, I think would be key. In addition to that, we do need to provide more opportunities for our young people to begin their career path much earlier. Some people might know what they want to do even in elementary school. So by the time they reach middle school, having some CTE courses where they can begin to get some hands-on experience in careers that they may be interested in would be amazing. At the high school level, you really have an opportunity to move those individuals who have interest in going into the workforce directly into training opportunities and jobs. You know, it is when I was in school years ago, we did have young people who spent part of their day in school and part of their day working. And we need to bring that concept back. I think it'll keep young people focused on their future, and everyone's future is going to look different. We're all different people. We're not cookie cutter. We all have different goals in life. And our schools should be there to help us achieve them. So expanding career development and expanding job opportunities for our students once they reach that magic age, I think would be helpful.
Thank you. Yep. All right. So thank you, Mayor Casanias. And next, let me just tell you, as before we move on to Mayor Can, Maryland Black Mayors, one of the things that we do, we try to bring individuals in monthly to provide information and knowledge to us so that we're able to take that knowledge into our communities and for our communities. We also we'll support you, we support communities, we support each other. We support organizations. So that's one of the things that Maryland Black Mayors, that's what we do. We are here for the communities and we are here to learn. I tell you, we are here to learn. We bring in our state's attorney, we bring in county officials just to teach us. So that's one of the things that we are about, knowledge and bringing knowledge to our communities. So I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Can for the next round of questions. Can't hear you though. Looks like your mic is off, but can't hear you. And you have such a sultry voice too. We have to hear you today.
Is this any better? Can you hear me now?
There, so volume up just a little bit.
All right. So again, thank you, Mayor Gann, and thank you to our candidates.
It's still kind of low, Mayor.
Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you, Mayor Gant. Can you hear me?
And we heard you earlier. I don't know what happened.
Is that better?
Nope. Not for me. Is it for anyone else? So?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, good. There it is.
All right. We're going to
There it
stay
is.
right here. Thank you, Mayor Gann, and the candidates for your commitment to Prince George's County and building us up. I do have a question. The question will be directed to Tanya Sweat, and then I will be bringing everybody else on board as it relates to the same question under public safety and criminal justice reform. What are your priorities for public safety where we have seen personnel deficits such as loss of police officers, firefighters, snow removal, and landscaping? Again, public safety and criminal justice reform. Tanya Sweat?
Yes, thank you for that question, Mayor Can. Public safety is a very important issue, and you're absolutely right. We are short on police officers and career firefighting. As it relates to our police officers, I believe the best people to hold us accountable are us. We've got to prepare members of our community to take the positions of being law enforcement officers in Prince George's County. And I understand that there's a culture because of what happened with Mr. George Floyd, Sandra Bland, and others who became victims of our police forces nationwide. There's a concern in the community about serving in those jobs. But we have to educate and enlighten our children and our community so that they know that it's about protecting and serving the community. And we can work with us to make sure that we are well protected and that we are safe. Right now, I understand 85% of our police don't even live in Prince George's County. So we have to have more of our Prince Georgians serving on our force. Same thing with our fire department. We also have a complement of 930 volunteer firefighters who want to serve our community here in the county. And I will work to make sure our combined firefighter service is just that. a combination of both career and volunteers, because we have to protect life and property. They're our first response. And when it comes to criminal justice reform, as a former both prosecutor and defense attorney, to understand criminal justice well, our prison system no longer rehabilitates and remediates our felons and our convicts. We punish them. And we do have to have punishment because we have to understand there are consequences for bad behavior. But we also have to go back to remediating and rehabilitating our offenders so that when they return home, they are ready and they are prepared to contribute to society and not return to criminal behavior.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sweat, for that statement. Our next candidate will be Mr. Slocum.
Thank you for that question. With a background in human resource development, I believe I'm the most qualified and qualified chosen. It's a business operation, right? We have to make sure that our personnel, from public safety to contractors, from snow removal to landscaping, are properly managed, not mismanaged. So we have to take that $5.4 billion budget and properly fund all those agencies. I will bring together all 24 agencies, okay, including the public safety, including those contractors, and keep the contractors actually first right of refusal here in our county so that people will have jobs and they can pour back into each other and obviously support our blueprint. But more importantly, we must focus on the safety of even our public safety because they're at harm's way. And they have to work together with other agencies as well, even our civilian agencies. And we need certain intelligence like AI and other technological advancements with communications to keep them out of harm's way. Number two is funding. We don't have a lot of funding. So it goes back to prioritizing what we need with respect to how we're going to manage each agency so that they're at optimal levels and that those lives are not at harm's way. Snow removal, I want to make that something that's in-house, starting from us, from our manpower and woman power. As far as landscaping, we have a lot more to work with as far as the groundwork of the county as a whole. Due to its size, I believe that we must prioritize and work with DPI. I know a lot of people want to kind of knock that down a bit, but again, they need help and maybe combine that agency with another agency that has the funding. So as your next county executive, we got work to go and we got work to do in this time right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Slocum. The next question goes to Senator Alonzo Washington.
Thanks, Mayor Ben. Appreciate you. Appreciate the question. This is a really good one. As most of you know, in 2020, at the height of the rebellion with George Floyd, Angela Brooks appointed me as co-chair of the police reform work group, in which we deliberated over 47 recommendations to the county executive. A few of them that I want to see instituted that have not been instituted. One was providing more counselors to our police officers. And therapists to our police officers, so it's available to them because we know what they go through every single day on our streets. We want to make sure we institute a robust mobile crisis unit here in Prince George's County. Don't touch that. Here in Prince George's County. We also know that we aren't going to hire. You're going to hear from some of my opponents here that's going to say we got to hire 400 or 300 more officers. We're not going to find that in the next 2 or 3 years. What we need to do is transfer the police officers that are in civilian positions here in Prince George's County into policing officers that can patrol our streets and build better relationships with people. As far as the firefighters, you all know the story with me in my district and how we've had to fight the county on removing firefighters from our district, from our area in Greenbelt and Berwyn Heights. I'm going to reverse that to make sure those firefighters come back to our communities, and we can drive down the response rates in Prince George's County and in my area in particular. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. We appreciate that. Next, we are going to go with State's Attorney Aisha Brayboy.
We've worked really closely with not just Prince George's County Police, but also with all of our municipal agencies to lower crime. And today, we have seen reductions of about 30% in all categories across Prince George's County, along with our municipalities. And so continuing to invest in public safety, but in a more collaborative way. I think that we can do a much better job of working with our municipal departments to ensure that they're a part of any crime fighting effort. And as we seek funds at the federal level, it shouldn't just be for Prince George's County Police. It also must include our municipal agencies, because a lot of our crime is border crime. And if we can fix our borders, if we can be more strategic about deploying our shared resources, I think that we would be able to reduce crime even more than we have collectively done now. You know, right now we are down 59% in carjackings just this year, and that was overall we were down about 40% last year. So we see when we work together, like the task force that my office initiated with our police department, as well as our municipal departments, park police, and other stakeholders, we were able to drive down crime. We had a unified goal and effort. So we have to make strategic investments across the board, but most importantly, we have to continue to unify with each other. When it comes to our fire, we obviously we have to make sure that we have adequate staffing. We have to have adequate response times. Government services generally, we must ensure that our residents believe that they are getting what they pay for, because we do have the highest taxes in the region, and so we should have the best services in the region, but making sure that we have adequate staffing, that we're working collaboratively, and that we're focused on the mission of protecting and serving our residents is where we need to be.
Thank you so much. Thank you, State's Attorney. And then last but certainly not least, Mr. Ron Hunt, the question is yours.
Well, there's a couple things. When some of our candidates here was 4 years old, and some of our candidates here was 13 years old, I was in 1987, 88 dealing with a council member and Deputy Chief Albrecht. Here's what works, because it's already done, so we don't need to, but it just has to be done. And I'm also going to answer that first mayor's question that asked a good question about the mayors all getting together once a month. What I have did in the Arthur Kappa community and the Southwest Corridor in 1D1, we had meetings. So if I am county executive, there will be a meeting every first week of the month, one in Fort Washington, one further out, fourth to cover up the whole Prince George's County. The chief of police will be with me, and the head police officer in that municipality will be with me. So we give them a crime update. We have taken their complaints and work on them for that area, and give them an overall scenario of what we're doing all over Prince George's County. So everybody will be completely informed and everything is transparent. Let me explain something else to you. This stuff about this blueprint. The reason why the governor said no is because let me not say that word. We messed up. Okay. Nobody's going to spend money on anything when we're messing up. I keep repeating, we have 4,500 vacant buildings that we will spend a fraction of what this blueprint is going to cost and get the same thing accomplished and make them brand new again. Also, we have a situation with our mayors, like they said. They need to be able to come to the office at least once a month and have what we're going to call a sit down, if not just called a powwow. Because what we'll do is match all of our information that we learned because of those 4 security meetings that we had all over the county once a month, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then they will be informed on what we need to do to move further. And I've done it for more than 20 years. I am the most experienced candidate, including Rashern, on this call. That's a fact.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. And I inadvertently left out Mr. Marcellus Cruz. So Mr. Cruz, my apologies. The floor is yours.
Thank you. And thank you for the question. We pay a lot of taxes in this county, and we're not getting our best bang for our buck. And so that's where I start. It is time for true public safety. We are catching our juveniles, and then we're releasing our juveniles. There's no consequences. It is time for consequences to be laid down. The other part of this is we have to start giving better service and resources to our first responders. That's just the bottom line, and we have to pay better. because other counties are paying better. When I come at this, policing is, to me, is all about creating a relationship. And over time, we're going to have to create a new pipeline to our police force. But inside of all of that, crime is a symptom. And the reason why it goes down is because we throw a lot of resources at it and then it pops back up because we're not going to the symptom. And the symptom happens to be education. How do we know that? Because 75% of all inmates dropped out of school. Last year, we had over 9% of our kids to drop out of school, and we saw a spike. Well, the year before that, we saw a spike. And so my point here is our next county executive has got to be laser focused on workforce and economic development. Got to be focused on bringing that second pathway into our education system that we know works. I know that this works. For the last 25 years across the country with build.org, we have seen kids stay in school once you introduce a second pathway of entrepreneurship. That changes the game. So I believe that everyone has great ideas, but we have to be laser focused now. And that's how I see it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. I turn the floor back over to Mayor Gant.
Thank you, Mayor. We're gonna go with, it is 12:15, so I don't want to prolong. I don't want to keep us here too long. Oh, that was the timer. Keep us here too much longer. I do want to I want you to pull out your best question. And I want you to direct your question to two candidates, moderators. So Mayor Miller, Mayor Casanias, and Mayor Can, I want you to get your best question, as I want to see if we can get out of here in the next 15 minutes. So get your best question and direct it to two candidates, please. And we can start with Mayor Miller.
Actually, I had two, but I'll go with the second one because all of them I know are important, but in the sake of time here, my topic will be under health and wellness. And the question is, how will your administration work to address healthcare access, particularly for underserved communities? And that question will go to the first candidate, Albert Slocum.
Thank you for that question. Very important question. In fact, health and wellness is near and dear to me. We just did a seminar in Martha's Vineyard on health and wellness. Now, someone who had been on hypertension medication and through the grace of God, I'm no longer. I had to learn the hard way. Okay, we need health care to support our residents, regardless of what kind of insurance they have. I have a background in insurance, so I understand how those industries, those companies within the industry work, and they're not fair. They can't decline certain visits. They can't decline preventative or even pre-care or pre-screening. And we don't need that. So as your next county executive, I get this very well and so near and dear to me that I'm going to hold those insurance companies, those providers accountable. And we're going to work together with our legislative branch to create policies and legislation to hold them accountable so that they will pay for these services for all individuals so that there aren't any disparities. Now, the wellness aspect, we need health equity and development. What that means is that we need natural approaches, not just these prescriptions that are going to destroy our kidneys and have side effects. Okay, so we need something that's going to really hit hard and healing people and getting right to the root cause. As your next county executive, I will fight for you in doing so. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Next candidate, Senator Alonzo Washington.
I do believe he had to leave to go to another meeting. Is he still on?
I think he has left.
Yeah.
Okay. So we could go to the next candidate would be Ron Hunt.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. There's a couple things to do. I'm worried about our seniors, right? Our seniors, they have to have affordable housing, they have to have affordable health care. I've come up with a plan, and this will work because we have to reset everything. Our budget, everything we have to reset. So here we go with those 4,500 buildings again that are vacant. We can create a great healthcare system that they can use, and it'll be right in their building. That'll take care of affordable housing for our seniors, affordable medical and health, and free medication. This will go down the line and also take care of our veterans. This will take care of our single moms, and then the homeless. No more shelters. They create ghettos. We need to bring those homeless in because there's 3 or 4 different types of homeless. You have the homeless with mental health problems. You have the homeless that are down on their luck. You have homeless that are drug addicts. It goes on and on and on. We have to identify them and put them in a place where they can rehab as they're going to work. And now they're part of a workforce versus standing in front of a shelter smoking a cigarette. We can't have that no more. That's a ghetto, right? I'm just guaranteeing you one thing. If everybody is smart enough to elect Ron Hunt, all of this stuff will be done because I have 4 teams ready to go the first day. They asked me, Mr. Hunt, what are you going to do in the first 100 days? You mean the first 30 days? I'm going to solve so many problems. It's ridiculous because I know what I have to do. Now, let me say this before I go. Mr. Slocum is a genius. I love that guy. You know why? Because he is for the disabled and he's going to make millions of dollars. Mr. Cruz, he's a beast. And I'm going to tell you straight up and down, that boy knows about youth. He knows about how to bring things up in an organized way for our youth. And Miss Sweat, what a legal eagle genius she is. God bless all 3 of you because I love you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Hunt. Marcellus Cruz.
Just the just 2 candidates,
Oh,
Mayor.
okay. Okay. Oh, then we're gonna go to the next questions. Okay.
Yes.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Cruz. My apologies.
Mhm.
Okay, am I up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I would like to direct this question to Marcellus Cruz. Mr. Cruz, if elected, oh, where did my question go? Yeah, if elected, how will you help the municipalities with accurate data from the fire chief to help monitor call volumes and trends in the community to see if the local fire and EMS staffing is adequate as well as equipment in the particular community? So this is a fire station related question. I'll go ahead and post it in the chat as well.
Fire station, okay. Well, my background is technology innovation. That's what I come out of. I've created jobs and I've modernized whole businesses. I'm also a state vendor, and we've been modernizing with the state. So this is a great question for me. I believe it's time that we modernize and innovate in a lot of our first responders equipment. I mean, we can go to a whole nother level of disseminating information and data quicker and faster. I believe that we are behind the times in all of our agencies, to be honest with you. Senator Washington keeps bringing up DPI. We need to innovate. We need to modernize. A lot of these inefficiencies just requiring an executive who understands that background and understands how to bring AI to the forefront. We've been talking about studying AI in our government, but it's time to implement in a lot of areas. And so I believe that I can bring to bear not just studying, but actually implementation on how we disseminate the information and data quicker and faster, as well as keep it safe from hackers. Am I answering your question? I want to make sure that I'm getting, to the point.
I think that answer was great. So I appreciate everything that you just said.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to go ahead and direct the question now to Ms. Sweat. So if elected, how will you help the municipalities with accurate data from the fire chief to help monitor call volumes and trends in the community to see if the local fire and EMS staffing is adequate as well as equipment in the particular community?
Thank you, Mayor Cassandra, for that question. This is, for me, a simple question and a simple answer. Fire chief works for the county executive. The order is provide the data on a regular basis. It can be weekly, monthly, quarterly, however the mayors choose to receive it. Provide the data. And if the data is not provided to you, then I would ask that you let me know that you're not getting answers. Because I have the ability as the supervisor and the manager of the fire chief to ensure you get what it is you need to do your job on this county. We're required to work with you. The other thing I'm going to demand is that the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Public Safety come to your regular meetings so that you can confirm and verify the information you're getting from both the fire chief and the police chief. Technology is great, but sometimes you need human verification to make sure the information you're getting is. And not only that, I'll make sure that I add your meetings to my calendar, and I'm going to show up quarterly so that I can verify and confirm what you're getting from the folks on my staff. And if you're not getting accurate information, I'm going to be the first person to take action to make sure that is corrected. Because we have to work together in order to make Prince George's County what we want it to be. And it's the same thing for me with the crime stats that may come from the police department or from the sheriff's office. The sheriff doesn't work for me, but I absolutely will be working with him to make sure any data, any information that you get is accurate and is truthful. And we'll make sure the open data portal on the Prince George's County website provides you accurate data 24 days a week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
She beat the clock. Thank you. All right, Mayor Ken.
So this next question.
I'm having some technical difficulties. My line keeps shutting out, so I'm not even sure. Has anyone called my name to answer that question or the last question? Albert Slocum.
Oh, no, Mr. Slocum. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for checking, though.
Yeah, anytime.
All right. So the next question again falls under public safety and criminal justice reform. And I solicit your ideas as to how you can build trust between law enforcement and the community. And this question goes to candidate Ron Hunt.
You know, I like you, sir. I really do. I'm sorry you can't see me because you'll see the smile on my damn face. Here's the deal. I just told you earlier about doing those meetings with the community once a month in 4 corners of Prince George's County, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So you hit all of the municipalities. And then you have the mayors coming for one day. I have the activists coming in twice a month. Let me explain to you. If you look on my site, I've answered all of these questions. And the joke here is I've heard some of these candidates using my exact words. The bottom line is this, like it or not, if we have police that are not janitors, what they do is they sit in these strip malls, they wait for a call to come in, they run and they clean it up. If you have community policing, Miss Jones over there says, hey, Mr. Kennedy, how you doing? And the cop says, hey, Miss Jones, how you doing? And guess what? All these little criminals see that. We have a problem because we have repeat offenders. And I'm not going to talk about nobody's departments here that's on here. They don't know what they're doing. The bottom line is we have to get rid of the repeat offenders because they're the ones that are recruiting these young kids and making them do their dirty work. Bottom line, everything has to be on reset now. And isn't it funny when I speak, everything I'm talking about, I have already done. I did it for 20 years. That's why when Mr. Baker, God bless him, I love him so much, said, well, I'm the most experienced person up here. I stood right behind him and said, no, you're not. You did 8 years. I did 24 years. I don't want to hear it. I've worked with council members. I've worked with everybody. Chiefs of police, I'm not playing. The community comes first. And yes, I am the most experienced. And these people that are on here with you, Mr. Cruz, Mr. Slocum, Miss Sweat, they are beasts. I'm not exaggerating. And if I get this, I got something for you, boys and girls. Hear me? But we need good people like you. You're the best. I really mean that with all my heart. Now you heard that, Mayor. God bless you too.
Can't hear you, Mayor. Mayor, can't hear you still. Oh, there it is. There it is. There you are.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Hunt. Mr. Slocum, do you need for me to repeat the question, or do you are you ready to respond to the question?
Mr. Slocum, you're on mute.
You're
There
good.
you
You're
go.
good. Yeah, no sense in repeating the question.
Okay.
Relationship is key. And we have to bridge all of our public safety together, whether that's the sheriff, police, correctional, or fire, EMS. I believe that training and development will be the cure for the mishaps and miscommunications amongst those groups. I understand there's competition amongst them as well. And then there are performance issues, right, as far as morale. And it could be due to a lack of, pay, being stuck out there overtime. I believe that we need to address the underlying issues so that all those public safety agencies can work together at optimal levels. We need to have bonuses. We need to have incentives because they're putting their lives on the line. And if they're not paid for the amount of work that they're putting in, then they're what good is that? They have families to go back to at the end of the day. So they're putting themselves at risk, at harm's way. I think that communication starts from the leadership down. As county executive, my leadership style is transformational. I'm going to hold everybody accountable. And if you don't want to be a part of the team, which is one team, then we'll find someone else that wants to be there to do the job. And I have no qualms with replacing people or getting them to go and work somewhere else. I won't tolerate foolishness, and I won't tolerate underperformance. Okay. And, if you don't want to put in the hours or you come in late or you leave early, that's an issue. Customer service is also near and dear to me because taxpayers they foot the bill at the county level. That's how we get our revenue. And that's how we're able to pay all these individuals, personnel, civilian, non-civilians. So we need to treat everyone with a high level of respect. And integrity is also key in character and ethics. You can't be corrupt
Thank you
or
so
you can't
much,
be
Mr. Slocum.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It is 12:28, and I'm going to hold to our time of 12:30. And as I'm getting ready to make some closing remarks, I want to ask the candidates, I'm going to provide you 60 seconds to provide your closing remarks to those who are still on the line. But also, I would encourage those who are still here to go ahead, if you have some questions, to put it in the chat. One of the viewers or one of the persons that are on the Zoom said that they're a new voter and they want to make the best decision, and they'd like the candidates to answer the questions, and they'd like to read the answers. So what we will do is to submit the questions that remain to our candidates and ask them to reply so that we can get that information out. And I think that was a great question and suggestion, and we're going to do that as soon as possible. So if there are some other questions that you might have and would like the candidates to answer that, please put it in the chat for us while we are still on. And I will give the candidates opportunity to provide us some closing remarks. 60 seconds, please, because we are at the 12:30 hour. And I will start with Mr. Marcellus Cruz.
I knew that was
saw you
coming.
turn that camera on.
All right. My name is Marcellus Cruz, and I just think it's time for change here in the county. I believe it's time that we allow our sixth graders to start getting apprenticeships and certifications all the way through high school. I think it's time to bring small businesses to education like we do for sports. I also think it's time that we allow and do a better job with urban and suburban living and building and development here. It's time that people can just come down in their flip-flops and go over to the coffee shop. I believe that it is time for us to be known for something. Uh, Bioscience and technology. That's right here in our county. I believe we can be known for that. These are billion-dollar industries that we can take to the next level, and our young people, our adults can all thrive from this.
Thank you.
I'm asking for your help and your support. I've been an executive for
That's that
16 years.
60-second mark.
Thank you.
You got it, Mr. Cruz. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Mhm.
All right. And next, Ms. Sweat.
Thank you for having me today. And I'm running to be your county executive because, like you, I share the concerns about what's happening in our community. I want better education. I want improved public safety. I want lower property taxes. We've got to work on all of this. We have to work together to address these things, and we can do this. So I'm here to offer all the experience that I've learned working in the federal government for 20 years of my career. I'm here to offer my experience as an attorney who understands and knows the law. I'm here to work with each and every one of you to make Prince George's County a livable community for each and every one of us, no matter what we look like, no matter what our class is, no matter how much wealth we have or don't have. This is a place that we all want to call home. And with what we're facing in our federal government, we have to work together to make Prince George's County work. So again, thank you for having me. I'm Tanya Sweat, and please check out my website and social media for any other information.
All righty. Thank you, Ms. Sweat. Appreciate you. And next we will have Mr. Slocum.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to work with all the mayors and local council members, even county council, and at the state level. What we need is fresh face, fresh start, fresh results. Results that will be transparent, accountable, and have performance, result oriented. As your next county executive, my administration will prioritize on our budget to make sure that funding is reallocated to the areas that make sense, like social services, crime reduction, our public safety, our schools, our seniors, affordable, I call it economically advantageous housing with quality living conditions. From an economic development standpoint, we need to create more jobs and foot the bill to those larger corporations regarding the commercial tax base so that it's 70% commercial tax base and 30% residential. We need to build world-class systems, school systems. We need to help individuals with disabilities. We need to respect one another. We need to work together so that we're putting our Prince George's first, which makes Prince George's strong. I'm an advocate, I'm a father, I'm a business owner. I have a wealth of experience, exposure, and I can bring that here at the county as your next county executive. Thank you for having me, and I hope that you will make the wisest choice here to vote for someone who's not tied to any political establishments.
You, Mr. Slocum.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And so next we have Mr. Hunt.
Can you hear me?
That's your introduction, Mr. Hunt.
Well, I just want to make sure. Can you hear me? I hope
Yes,
you can
sir.
hear me. Okay. Didn't you just love those last three? Miss Sweat, Mr. Cruz, and Mr. Slocum? They're the best. I really mean that. And I am now falling in love with those. I can't help myself. I just love
Is
them.
that gonna be you got
I
60
just love them.
seconds.
But that's not a problem. My name is Ron Hunt, and I'm, again, more experienced than everybody that's running, because I am. Even Rasher, and he knows it too. I'm not going to say what we need to do. Everything I've said on this call was what I'm going to do. And I know how to root out the thieves that stole our money for these building of schools for $100 million, and we're $100 million over. If you want to find out more about Ron Hunt, go to ronhuntforpgcounty.com. That's Ron Hunt for pgcounty.com. And if you lived in the area a long time, you remember me when I said, all right, everybody, this is Ron Hunt from Mirage Nightclub. God bless you. Have a nice day.
Mr. Hunt, can you put that in the chat for us, please?
Put what in the chat?
Your
Oh, sure. More than happy to. Let me see. How do I get to the chat? You know, I'm an old man now. Let me get over to the chat. Where's the chat? Okay.
All right. You should see at the bottom, I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Yeah. That's okay. Miss
Oh, yeah, I got
Casanias
it.
will put
Oh,
it there.
somebody put it up there? Well, I got it right now. Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, if you got it, you go ahead and put that up there for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And candidates, thank you so much for your time. I know that you've been all over the county, like I said at the beginning, but this is what happens when you're running for office, right? It's just a stretch. Thank you so much for those who are still on the Zoom, and also the Maryland Black mayors that are on the Zoom. Thank you, Mayor Miller, Mayor Casanias, Mayor Can, for moderating and asking the questions. Thank you for those who put the questions in the chat, and we will ensure that we get that to you. If we do not have your, we'll post it where, Mayor Casanias, for everyone.
We're
Where
gonna
will they be?
post the video, the recording on our YouTube channel. I've included the link in the chat. And then make sure to visit us on our website. So I'll see if we can place some of those questions there, but then everyone is gonna receive an email from us as well.
Okay, and if we do not have your email and you want the responses, please drop your email in the chat and we'll be sure to connect with you. All right. So again, thank you so much, and everybody, don't forget, of course, vote, right? I don't know if everybody on here does, but just remember that. Don't wait until that 11th hour, but go ahead out there and vote and tell your neighbors to vote. Take somebody with you, of course, the elderly, the young, get that young person out there to vote with you. Candidates, you be safe out there. Always take somebody with you when you're out there campaigning and knocking on those doors. And board, is there anything you'd like to add before we let everybody go? If not, stay safe and God bless. Thank you.